Listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone to today's webinar, Healthy Interactions Hacks, Top Tips for Making Your Life Easier While Using Conversation Map Tools. My name is Melissa and I'll be moderating this session. Just a few quick housekeeping details before we get started. Our speakers welcome your questions along the way. Take a look at the control panel in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You will see an area at the bottom where it says Type Questions Here. Use that feature to type in any questions, and our presenters will be glad to answer them at the end of the webinar. We'll be having a few poll questions today. It's really easy to participate. When the polling slides appear, simply click on the answer that best represents your answer to the question. You will then get to see the results of the whole group live. And with that, I would like to introduce you to Barbara Eichhorst and Julia Saki, our speakers today.
Thank you, Melissa. Welcome everyone to our webinar, and thank you for being here today. My name is Barbara Eichhorst, and I'm a global facilitator for the Conversation Map Tools. My role is to train others on the use of the Conversation Map Tools, as well as use them myself, so then share the best practices with people from around the world. With me, I also have Julia Saki, who is our liaison for the U.S. network, also our American Diabetes Association Program Coordinator.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. We're so happy you could join us. And as Barbara said, I'm the clinical liaison for the Conversation Map program here in the U.S. So I'm always happy to help with any problems, questions, and provide support.
And then I will be referencing to Julia throughout our presentation. The resources that I will be presenting to you are the ones that many times Julia is also referencing whenever she's talking with you. And thank you for being part of our network of over 100,000 trained facilitators, which makes it the biggest diabetes education or diabetes educator network in the world. Very unique, because no matter where we are in Mexico or Brazil or China, the Conversation Map tools are being used. Same methodology, different educators, but we have the same approach of patient-centered group education. Now with over 100 countries, the program has been launched. We're really reaching to over more than 20 million people with diabetes, which is amazing. The goal for today's webinar is to focus on the U.S. resources that are available to you as a trained facilitators. We also have many of you, about half of you present today, who are not using the Conversation Map tools, but have been trained, and some of you are planning to get trained on the map use. So my goal is to showcase the best practices for those of you who are already using the map, versus for those of you who are planning, provide you some strategies to start using them, and for those of you who are planning to get trained, give you direct access to our website where you can register to get trained on the Conversation Map tools. Before we get started, I would like to assess your existing comfort level in using the Conversation Map tools with people with diabetes. And I'm going to relaunch this poll upon of the completion of our webinar with the goal to increase your comfort level. So for those of you who have been trained on the map tools, if you can vote, and then what is your current comfort level of using the Conversation Map tools? Not comfortable, somehow comfortable, very comfortable. Vote, and I will combine the results and share it with you. I know Melissa is closing the poll, and then I will take a moment to showcase this to you. So 5% of you are how comfortable, and then 34 comfortable, and 21 very comfortable, which is a beautiful profile. So for those of you who have been using the map tools and you're fairly comfortable, we welcome your not just questions but also comments that you can add to the discussion, as I'll be sharing best practices, so then we can share it with everybody present. So let's talk about the online resources. So our website has changed since I believe 2 years ago. Overall feel and look of our website is a little bit different, but your facilitator login and information remain the same. So you go on Healthy Interactions and you log in as a facilitator, and then if you forgot your password, you can reset it. So the resources that we will be discussing are what you see on this screenshot. What's new about this facilitator login, we have added social media to best communicate with you. So we have a new LinkedIn group for the U.S. network and also for the outside U.S. network, which is really cool because it will allow you to talk to diabetes educators from different states, different cities, different countries, and then create a network of peer support. We also have a Facebook and then Twitter account, which I'll mention in a little bit more. So these are the resources. First, the resources that I would like to talk to you about are the most familiar to you, and I think that this is the most important one because conversation map tools, as you know, are a complete ADA curriculum, American Diabetes Association curriculum. They support standard 6 for a complete curriculum. And what makes it a curriculum is a learning objectives. So that curriculum it's like a tab is in a binder when you got trained. Sometimes if there's a lot of information in there, so you might have not seen it or maybe misplaced it. But if you misplaced it, you can go on our website and you can print it. You will need that when your ADA or AADE recognized program, and if you get audited, that component needs to be in there, indicate the learning objectives and evaluation mechanism. And this is an evaluation plan from the same ADA curriculum. And the reason that I put it in here is because many times the assumption is that knowledge or content is the only way to evaluate the effectiveness of diabetes education, such as conversation map tools. But there's also other ways to evaluate the effectiveness, like ability to apply knowledge and what is personally meaningful to a person in the end of a session. Many times what's personally meaningful is something that is more psychosocial. I feel normal, now I don't feel like a bad patient, it's nice to be around others. That's a change towards a better diabetes self-management because the self-realization of the acceptance of a disease, it's a progress. Many times it's a content that we have learned that they did not know before. Also, recognition of feelings about diabetes is it's one of the evaluation mechanisms, and obviously development of a personal action plan. What's unique about action plan is sometimes we think of it as an afterthought towards the end of the session, but we can have a, let's say, goal setting aha moments where somebody do deeply connect writing it down as one of your goals or one of your goals. So also ability to implement the actions identified and throughout the program outcomes. So this is the back of that ranking, and the back of it is the one that you have. You see there's 9 content areas, the ones that are needed for to be a full DSME curriculum. So all 4 map tools, if you use them, you will see that the content is being covered. And then you can identify who was the instructor and which map was covered to cover that specific content area. And this one is the back of that one as well, where you have a goal set, progress to the goals, and goal attainment. In here, additional facilitation resources that I would like to talk to you about, and these are a little bit more for your own growth and development as a facilitator. This is feedback from other educators who have been used. The map kind of gives us idea on how to get started. Many of you, and we know that 50 of you are planning to use the map tools, and that means that like the map, you have joined us today. We have over 300 people registered today. So we know that that many of you are still kind of trying to figure out, how to put it into your existing practice. Many of you are very experienced facilitators and educators who have been doing it for a long time. And sometimes it's harder to kind of unlearn a thing, but we get used to doing something on a regular basis, and now just to change the habit. So this is a really nice, several testimonials from facilitators that can kind of give you some ideas on how to get started, and if you have any challenges with the challenging patients or questions, this could be addressed. There is intuitive and easy to use. It's meant to make it easier. So so the best way to do this thing is just to literally map what they see. That's the way for and then map for the things that are of interest to them. That allows us to make an assessment what's relevant to cover their diabetes and ask open-ended questions. Tell me more. And if we trust the system, the map session goes very well, and it's not complicated. This one is handouts that you can use for your patient sessions, and these are the pre-session resources. They're both English and Spanish. So the first one that I would like to show you is this one is the referral form that you can provide it for the referring providers. As you know, to be referred to a diabetes education, such as the conversation map tools, because there are a full DSME curriculum, in order to get reimbursed by Medicare, and it has to be AD recognized or AAD recognized program, and the patient has to come with a referral. So this is the referral, and what's nice about this is that we can we are in the actual maps. Sometimes or maybe not right from when you do like a service for providers, you can bring the map. Where it shows the location and the time of a session, and then when you showcase the referring providers, then diabetes education is real more more fun. In time, learning a lot of learning is occurring, and it's less threatening, but it's in the past complex things. When they see them many times, they're ready to refer because they see the benefit, and they're better equipped to talk to their patients about diabetes education in a way that's more inviting. So this is a way to customize your session cards, where you might lose some of your cards, and you can just kind of reprint them, or your patients might have a specific conditions, or like maybe circumstances, or it could be more culturally different myths that you would like to address, and but sometimes people are kind of a little bit shy to share those myths, but they exist. If you put them on a card, their participants are more likely to discuss them because they're going to be like, oh, somebody else is thinking that way. This is a patient note-taking sheet. It's really nice because this one is good. There's a different note-taking sheet for a different map. So you can see the map visual, the clip of the map, not the whole map. So the participants, as you discuss that specific area, like for example, you see that you're in the driver's seat and the healthcare professionals are around you to support you, but really you're in charge of your diabetes. So then patients can write notes, or you can point something out that is relevant to somebody, and they can kind of remember. This could be used as a take-home tool, but many of you might have existing take-home tool from your Merck representative. This is the one that comes with the same package, but with one-on-one tools. So the take-home tools that you get from the Merck representatives are really nice as well. They have a whole image of the map, and there's more details in terms of about support system, and then what to talk to the doctor about. So those are resources you can ask your Merck representative to provide for you. And in few slides, I will kind of show you where in Journey for Control those resources can be requested. Patient survey. So this is really nice because when you would like to evaluate, just to get a satisfaction from a session and a feedback from your patients, you can use this. The patient survey has 4 categories, and you can use it either as a whole, or you can select the category that best meet your needs. And one of them is confidence in diabetes self-management. The other one is empowerment. The third one is willingness and ability and preparedness for diabetes self-management care. And the fourth one is satisfaction with the conversation map session. I typically would use that number 4. It's only like 7 or 8 questions. You can use it post each map session to kind of get a most immediate feedback about the session, if they felt that it was beneficial, they have learned, and if we're going to do something as a result of it. But it's very easy to administer. If you would like to use the whole pre and post, what I would suggest is to use it at the beginning of the 4 map sessions, and in the end, upon the completion of the whole program. Because one of them is, for example, empowerment, and it takes more than 1 session to measure the level of empowerment and engagement. So it's up to you to decide. But you have now a choice of using either the whole survey or parts of it. This is checking what you know. For those of you who would like to know what your patients know, either before the session or after the session, you can use this. This one I have used a few of my sessions, and a big aha moment or surprise for me was that patients really knew a lot at the beginning of a session. So they come with the high knowledge level because they already have access to internet. They can Google anything. So they have the information. They have the knowledge. What we can help them with the conversation map session and diabetes education is to take that knowledge and convert it to actions where they can actually apply it and take the knowledge and apply it to a daily living and create habits around that knowledge, because they already know a lot. So even for the future of diabetes educators or our role in disease management, we're so much more than educators, as you know. We are clinicians helping people to really to take what they know and then use their motivation and guide them to apply that into their daily routine. And this one is a diabetes progress report that you can also use. It's you have ABCs and weight, and then confidence in making changes, and then what they will do to maintain the success that they have, to prevent relapse, and so on, and what their support network is. This is also very similar to your take-home tool. So if you use the take-home tool, the one that your Merck representative gets for you, this could replace 2 of those forms. One of them is a note-taking sheet, and also progress report. For the patients, we also have a certificate of completion, where you can have a separate certificate of completion for each MAP session, which is nice because if they complete all 4 MAP sessions, then they get 4 certificates, and there's a better sense of accomplishments that they have completed all of the diabetes education program. You can use it 1 in each time. this is for you for a facilitator. So this is a good way to reflect on our skills as a facilitator. You can use this as a self-reflection, or have one of your peers or a trusted friend to sit in on your session and to kind of see your performance or our performance as a facilitator. Performance, it's a bad word, but it's just how we are doing as a facilitator. Kind of looks at was the size of a session, you know, right. Sometimes if we have too big of a session, like we have, let's say 15 or 16 people, it might impact the way that people are learning or interacting. Typically 3 to 10 individuals within 2 hours are the ones that produce the best outcome, because there's an intimacy, there's a forming, there is more of a trust environment, and also you'll be able to be done in 2 hours and cover most of this area, because the map session has been kind of, when you see the timing for discussions, if you have a larger group, it takes longer to discuss and so on. So you can also look at little details like how you open the session, if you're using the facilitator guide, if you're addressing people by their name. Sometimes if we don't call people by name or don't give enough of eye contact, it can impact the interactions and negatively impact how people are enjoying it. But most of the times, sometimes we facilitators think that maybe we didn't do such a great job, but the bottom line, the patients enjoy the session and they provide the best feedback and they think that it's the best thing ever. So what really matters is how the patients are getting it. So getting a positive feedback from the patients is the most important thing. This is a certificate of completion for your attendance at our training for the conversation map tools. So this is where you had a training face-to-face or online. You can print this and put your name. And if you're in a portfolio, you can have that, as well as a training agenda that is available to you when you are being trained. When you would like to connect with other diabetes educators and kind of learn who is using the map or who has been trained on the map use within your region, you can go in and you can see it on our website. The easiest way, if you just want to know who is doing what, is also our LinkedIn group, because it has you can post any questions about any questions you have about either a network or others or topic for discussion, and then this will be most likely addressed in the real time with you. This is also which is nice. This is the way to showcase your feedback about the map use, share your successes, share your best practices, how you're doing it, because it's nice to learn from each other, to provide ideas. When we do something good, it's good to share that because it gives ideas to others. Also, it's good to celebrate our achievements. So this is a good way to do that on our website. We also have a blog, which is really nice because it has various various guest bloggers reviewing and talking about topics that are relevant to chronic disease management, not just the conversation map, but also other topics that are good to know about when it comes to patient care, patient-centered interventions, personal health engagement, which we are trying to achieve with our methodology. And also, if we add new program or the conversation map tools for different topics, like what you see in front of you right now on the screen is blog, which is about DPP, because now we have conversation map tools for DPP, and our health interactions is in the status of 2 years of data gathering to become a CDC recognized program for DPP. And then this is a site for Journey for Control. Many of you have seen this if you have been registered for our conversation map sessions. This is part of Merck's Journey for Control. As you know, the conversation map tools have been developed by Healthy Interactions in collaboration with American Diabetes Association, and they're sponsored by Merck as part of a Journey for Control. So Journey for Control is also a non-branded program, has nothing to do with Merck's medication. Merck is our generous sponsor for our program. We have trained over 30,000 healthcare professionals here in U.S. 30,000. That's a lot of healthcare professionals who have received free training at no cost to you, as well as conversation map tools at no cost to you. And it's all because of our wonderful sponsorship from Merck, which we're very thankful for. So a Journey for Control is you have resources that are a part of a patient versus educator resources like content handouts, and also you have in there for your patient, this is nice, very nice online conversation map tools. For if a patient cannot attend the map session in person, they can view this and they can learn in a very interactive way about their diabetes. There is all of the map tools are in there for the online learning. We also have a digital platform, which is really nice because this is your solution to what do we do in between the map sessions. We have the app, and then with the app, we're relaunching, adding additional features to it in June, and more of those completion of it's going to be in September. So you'll be hearing from us about the additional features and additional enhancement to the app and our digital coaching. So if you think about our digital platform, app activates versus app engages. So when we do education with the map use, we really activate a person to do something good. But then all of the action is taking place in between those visits when we don't see the patient. So when they are forming the habits, when they're checking their blood glucose, when they're trying to decide on a good lunch, or when they're trying to treat hypoglycemia, or figure out what to do about high blood glucose. So it happens in real time when we don't necessarily have access to those episodes. So the patient will have an access to the app and at least get the information that is needed to motivate that person, as well as help with the goal setting, making sure that the goals are put in place. They get a notification about the content, so they learn throughout the using of the map, as well as reminders about their goals, and they can do, like with the goals, like which goals they're completing right versus which goals they are struggling with, so they're able to adjust their goals and so on, and see their performance. So why does engagement matter? So engagement is important, and again, I think of engagement more of what happens in between the map sessions. Because when we do the map session, we do engage, but that's within 2 hours. And then another 2 hours, so the map tools are there to deliver DSME, so that is 10 hours of the patient's time. But there is 24 hours in a day and 365 or 4 days in a year. So that's a lot of in-between time, but we want people to be engaged. So engagement is important because with engaged participants or engaged patients, we have a better quality of life, better functional status, higher patient satisfaction scores. Patients are more involved in decision-making technologies. What that means is that they use more of the blood glucose meters, they use more of the, let's say, apps to help them and other things. They also initiate discussions of symptoms with their physician better, so they're more likely to talk about their hypoglycemia or pain management or other things. And they report higher medication adherence, use self-management services more, and overall perform on self-care behavior better, which is more engaged in their own self-care, which is a good thing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you might have, and then how to take those challenges and create opportunities out of them. When we think about conversation map tools, think about diabetes self-management education, because the conversation map tools are tools to deliver DSME. So they are solution to the existing system assistant opportunities. So think about how will the use of the conversation map tools improve the patient care outcomes? How will it improve the delivery of care? How will it help the patient? How will it help the clinician? And we have developed the map really to be a solution, to a group education. As you know now, the DSME has to be provided in group. So one-on-one is no longer indicated unless there's a specific need for it. So 9 out of the 10 hours of DSME have to be done in group education. And the map tools are really the best tool to deliver it because it's patient-centered, it's supporting that interaction that allows for very individualized care in the group setup. And since the group is forming, they're more likely to come back and therefore complete the 10 hours because they have the peer support, and then it's enjoyable and people are coming back. And then also how will it help the clinician? It's irrelevant because how will it help us? You know, less of the PowerPoint and talking about the same stuff. This is more of a when you think about one-on-one individualized care, we see 7 patients in a day. We can see, you know, 15 patients or 20 patients in a day doing the map session, or in 2 hours we can have 8 patients. Otherwise, we would use the whole day to see on one-on-one. So think about how will it fit into your needs and how it could improve your life as well. So the ongoing challenges for diabetes education are many, but one of them is time. We really, example with one-on-one, when we do one-on-one, 7 patients or 8 patients in a day, it could be done in 2 hours. Literally, 8 hours could be shortened to 2 hours, because 2.5, because we do some reporting and charts after that, but still, it's a time saving. Reimbursement, now we know that the DSME is reimbursed in a group setup, so we provided. And what's interesting about the reimbursement is that even with Medicare, it's the people are eligible for the service, but less than I think 5% or only 4%, a little bit over 4% of the recipients, people who are eligible to receive it, actually receive DSME. The percentage is a little bit higher for the private insurance. I think it's like 7%, but still, it's surprisingly how little of the people with diabetes who are eligible to receive it for free end up getting the service of DSME. Also, low show rate. Sometimes we know that only like 40% of people who are referred by a doctor end up coming to the sessions. And also our completion rate for diabetes education are fairly low. People come for 1 session, 2 sessions, but don't come for the 3rd and 4th. So the conversation map could be a solution to increase your show rate, because because the way that it's designed to create that forming, and then designed to kind of be really engaging for people to be more interested in coming back. Access, attitude of knowledge, and knowledge of the healthcare professionals, as well as attitude and knowledge of people with diabetes. For people with diabetes, it's mostly they don't want to come to be educated and preached to and talk to what they have to do, because they already know what to do. So they're coming. Sometimes they're scared of the education classes. So even the way that we talk about education matters, because we can say it's sessions to help you with your diabetes management, so you end up doing better with your eating and other things, instead of telling people go and learn about diabetes, because they can do that, you know, via the use of internet, or buying a template, or getting an information from their from the doctor's office. Also, the healthcare professionals, the shift to a group education is fairly new. So a lot of times more skilled or more advanced level clinicians are used to one-on-one, because it allows us to really individualize the care for people. And a group education for complex patients, as we know, type 2 diabetes is fairly complex to manage, different medications, different circumstances, different complications. So sometimes that transition to a group is a little bit more challenging, because we realize how complex the medical issues that the patients are coming in are. So one-on-one allows us to kind of address those. But we can also do that, and we can do it effectively in a group setup. So when you think about how to integrate the conversation map tools into your practice, try to use the conversation map within a few weeks, maybe like a week or two when you were trained. It's a very intuitive and simple process. And you are all healthcare professionals, so you know your patients, you know diabetes, you know this. So just put the map on the table and just use it. It's not complicated. Use a facilitator guide to guide you in your discussions, and also not to forget specific topics. And if for those of you who want to like maybe highlight the questions, so you don't want to read from a facilitator guide, you can highlight the questions to make sure that you are asking the questions to really engage people in that discussion that is needed for them to learn the topics that they need to learn. Be simple, focus on patient's agenda, do an ongoing problem solving throughout the session, so situational problem solving. So what will you do as a result of that? So what will happen when? So what are you going to eat, after the session? You're going to be going home, and like right now it's time for dinner. So what are you going to have for dinner? Ask questions to kind of see if people will be implementing what they have learned at the session, or not going to go back to their old habits. And then use the Going for My Goal worksheet, and those are the resources that I review with you. That could be a take-home tool, the one that you get from your Merck, or it could be our note taking, or it could be our goal setting sheet. So you have many options for that. So when we talk about the conversation map tools as being a tool, it is a tool for number 6. That is your complete curriculum for the national standards of DSME. So complete curriculum means that it reviews all 9 content areas for diabetes self-management education. But what also happens with the conversation map tool, as well as our app, you see that app and digital platform. So the map supports standard 6. You got your curriculum. 7, which is individualization. 8, which is ongoing support. 9, patient progress. MAP provides individualization because you can individualize your care in a group setup because it's patient-centered. You can also think about app because on an ongoing basis you can communicate with the patient, and then it's supporting different patients' asks or their needs at that time. Ongoing support, you can use the app for that. Patient progress, you can use the map and app for it. The other elements of other standards for DSME are part of your institution that is needed to get reimbursement for DSME for both. You can use ADA or AED recognized programs to deliver that, but this is a summary what you need, which is the internal structure, external input, access, progress, instructional staff. 6 is a curriculum, 7 is individualization, 8 is ongoing support, 9 is patient progress, and 10 is quality improvement. So now I'm going to ask Julia a little bit to talk about how she is going to communicate with you on an ongoing basis and how you can reach out to Julia for help and support with using the conversation map tools and how to integrate it into your system.
Great, thanks, Barbara. In the beginning of the webinar, I had mentioned that I'm your main contact for any questions or issues, troubleshooting, and I just want to reiterate that anytime you need anything, please reach out to me via email or phone number. At the end of this webinar, we'll have all of our information, and also if you go to our website, you'll be able to find my contact info as well. We have an exclusive LinkedIn page that's called Diabetes Educators Using Conversation Maps and Digital Coaching Platform. We encourage everybody, if you have a LinkedIn account or if you're thinking about a LinkedIn account, to join this group for additional support. You can ask questions to fellow educators or to Healthy Interactions staff so we can help guide you. We'll also be posting really great discussions where people could comment and share ideas. But again, if you don't have LinkedIn, that's okay too. don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always happy to talk.
That's true. I mean, you can with Julia. She is an experienced certified diabetes educator and a registered dietitian and a MAP user, so she can also relate those things to you. And she is the program manager. So, like about the training, when you are trained, if you still have a little bit of questions or maybe anything for discussion, she'll be able to address those things with you. So, what we can do now, perhaps. Some of the questions that you have posted for us, we can address now, and then we can provide you with our contact information and the information about the upcoming webinar that we have. So Julia and Melissa, you have access to the questions that were posted, so maybe we can address a few of them now.
Yes, absolutely. We had several questions come through. I'm sure there'll probably be more. So again, everybody, after this webinar, if we didn't get to your question or if you think of something later, please go ahead and reach out to us and we'll make sure to get that squared away for you. The first question is, do new staff members in my office need special training to use the maps, or can they be taught by other staff members who have already been trained in the maps? Barbara, I'm going to jump in here and answer that question. We recommend that everybody go through formal training, whether it's an in-person live session in your area or the online training. It's a bit more comprehensive, and also the benefit of that is that that person being trained will be able to get their own set of conversation maps and the accompanying facilitator guides and conversation cards. So we really encourage that if possible. The live trainings are listed on our website as well as journeyforcontrol.com. With online training, your local Merck representative can help to get that invitation sent to you. Second question is the phone number given on the online training slide the best number to call to sign up for training? I have several clinicians who would like to become facilitators. Actually, the phone number that's listed on the online training slide is actually my personal phone number, which of course, if you have any questions about it, please give me a call. But the way the online training works is that your local Merck representative would have to actually send an invitation to the person who wants to get trained. I mentioned that just a minute ago with the previous question. If you aren't sure who your local Merck representative is, you could call their customer service line, and that number, if for those of you that have a pen and paper handy, is 800-672-6372. The next question is, are these resources going to be available and adapted for educators using the maps in Canada? And Barbara, I'm going to let you handle this one.
So the answer is yes. They are already adapted and they're already part of the Diabetes Conversations program in Canada. So Canada is part of our Global Diabetes Conversations program. All of the, in US, as you know, the program is being sponsored by Merck. Outside US, the program is being sponsored by Lilly. So you, in Canada, please talk to your local Lilly representative and ask to be trained on the conversation map tools. You'll be able to, once you're trained, then you have access to the resources like take-home tools and additional ones that are part of the program in there as well.
Great. And our last question is, how do we get the patient survey and check what they know sheets and their certificates of completion? Most of those resources are actually on our website. So as Barbara had took you through some of the screenshots a little bit earlier in the webinar, if you log into your facilitator account on healthyinteractions.com, all those resources are there towards the middle of the page, and you can choose which map resources you need. So whether it's for on the road or monitoring your diabetes, you can choose and you can print out any of those materials, or you could also save them on your computer since they're in PDF form. And that's it for questions. Yep.
Thank you, Julia. So our upcoming webinar is going to be our continuing education webinar, which is for nurses, dietitians, and pharmacists. And it's all about shared medical appointments. And so we are welcoming you to attend. We're going to be sending the information how to register for it. But the timing of it is Thursday, June 30th from 12 to 1 Standard Time, Chicago time. So what I would like to do is I would like to thank Julia and thank Melissa for being part of this webinar. Much appreciated. I also would like to thank you all for attendance and being part of our network and using the conversation map tools, advocating and being part of Healthy Interactions. We really appreciate each of you and are excited and honored for you to be part of our network. So please stay in touch with us and communicate your needs to us on a regular basis. This concludes our webinar.